Okay, today I want to talk about church camp, Assembly of God church camp. I attended it when I was 10 years old, and it was probably one of the most uncomfortable experiences in my formative years. To make a long story short, I got tricked into church camp. See, I was raised Methodist, which is fairly low key. There's not a lot of hooting and hollering and talking in tongues and witnessing and that kind of stuff that goes on in the Methodist church that I went to. Basically, how I ended up at an Assembly of God church camp is my friend Hans Guntrin. Well, he was kind of a friend. He stole shit from me. I've been having a lot of trouble lately throughout my life with people stealing things from me. But that's off the point. Anyways, he convinced me it would be a good time. So me and a friend of mine, Pat Peterson, went to this church camp. And we were a little shocked to find out that we'd be in church for 6 to 7 hours a day listening to sermons. As you can imagine, we tried to get out of that kind of stuff and, slip away as often as we could to get away from all the preaching and witnessing and stuff like that was going on. So it comes down to like 1 or 2 nights before we're about to come home, and there's like some kind of nighttime revival thing where everybody is supposed to start talking about the sins they're guilty of. I didn't have any, except my parents were divorced, and I wasn't really wanting to cry about it, but everybody else was crying, so I felt a little like it was the right thing to do. So I kind of sprang some crocodile tears and started crying a little bit. But I didn't talk in tongues, which anybody can do. You just kind of have to relax your mind. That's me speaking in tongues just off the top of my head. I can do different ones too. I can do ones that sound more Chinese and ones that sound more Middle Eastern if I really try. But anyways, I was raised like mainstream Protestant. And that was my first exposure to, at 10, to the real Bible thumpers that are crazy and horrifying. And I think that's why the mouthiest atheists, the ones that are most strident against the church, have always come from these Baptist, Seventh-day Adventist, Assembly of God, Pentecostal churches, because they're seriously the most fucked up. I mean, they're the ones that really try to guilt trip kids into feeling bad about things that they have no reason to feel bad over. And their main ones are sexual thoughts, which, I mean, that's a product of biology, evolutionary biology. We can't escape the fact that we're mammals and that we feel attracted to the opposite sex. Is my wiener showing? I hope not. I haven't done a Bathtub's Chronicles in a while, so please forgive me. I haven't done a video in a while. I've been real bad about it. But anyways, I think they trip people out about things that are beyond their control, like parents being divorced or having sexual thoughts. And, maybe some things that, in a way, are good, I recently had some roommates move out on me. I kicked them out because I hadn't paid rent in 4 months, and they stole a bunch of shit from me. Which I don't do shit like that. I don't steal other people's shit, you know, and it doesn't have anything to do with a Christian upbringing. I'm just not a thief. You know, I consider that a low-life thing to do. But, yeah, that's part of the Christian guilt concept. Can we make good people without instilling the fear of hell? With instilling the fear of hell, or whatever. I mean, does that make you a good person if you think you're going to go to hell if you steal or cheat and lie and, you know, commit various minor crimes? Without religion, without Christianity, can we prevent these things? And I think yes, because there's plenty of, like this guy who stole stuff from me, he was Christian, and his girlfriend was agnostic, but, I mean, she was fat, and she was, like, supposedly a tattoo artist and all this. So, I mean, she was a lowlife, and I should have known it was going to happen, but I was still surprised, because these guys owed me a lot, because they'd stayed with me for 4 months. And while I was starting to be a bit of an asshole about them owing me rent, on the other hand, I think it was justified, because while they supposedly looked for jobs, I didn't really see a lot of effort going into it, you know what I mean? So, well, anyways, that's my church camp story. And I thought it was funny how all these people sit around and guilt trip little kids, you know, and make them cry. To me, that's humorous. Not really humorous, it's mean. You know, it's just only for religious reasons would you do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't, you know, go around and consciously guilt trip children that had done nothing to you. Now, if the kids were out of line, I can see giving them a big, heavy guilt trip. You know, if they were running around breaking shit and stealing shit and being crazy. But we weren't. We were at church camp. It was something that was part of the curriculum. So I just find it a little bit disturbing. And please share your comments below. And by the way, I don't like YouTube's new format, and that's part of the reason why I've kind of moved away from it. But anyways, take care, guys.